3, 2, 1.
Studio Classroom is
Studio Classroom. Studio Classroom.
Please stand by.
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Studio Classroom on the air. You are just in time to join us for a great lesson. My name is Gabe.
And I'm Anne-Marie. Okay, Gabe.
Yeah.
Check this out. What do you think? Do you recognize the person in this picture?
No, I don't think so. But she's beautiful. Who is she? A friend of yours?
That's me.
Wait, what? No way. I mean, you're beautiful too, of course, but wait, is this really you?
Yeah, I took a selfie yesterday and I just added some special effects. I did some touch-ups here and there. It really didn't take that long.
Wow, wait, let me see that again. Oh my goodness, that is you. It's amazing what we can do with our photos these days.
It is. And not everyone feels the same way about that. Today, we are continuing a lesson called Instagram versus reality.
Or IG versus reality. Today is a great day to learn something new.
Let's do that together right now.
Instagram versus reality.
A few small improvements. The beauty mode on my friends' phones sometimes makes them look like total strangers. They post a selfie and I think, who is this? Do I know you? That can't be healthy.
Well, I have to agree that people's pictures can look strange. Sometimes I think, are you kidding me? What are you, a robot? Your face looks plastic. But it's fun to edit pictures, and besides, I don't see how it's harmful.
Think about it. Every day we're comparing ourselves with false beauty standards. Perfect skin, super white teeth, narrow faces. It makes real people look ugly by comparison.
Hello everyone, welcome to Language Lab. I'm Jack. 我们今天要看的第一个字是动词 edit. To edit 就是编辑的意思。在文章里 to edit 是用来指编辑修订图片。譬如说 Which app do you like to use if you need to edit your photos? 如果要修照片，你喜欢用哪一个应用程式？我们也可以用 edit 来指文字编辑或是校对。例如Melissa has written several stories, and now she needs someone to help her edit them. Melissa 写了几篇故事，现在她需要一个人来帮她做文字编辑。To edit 也可以指影片的剪辑，譬如说 Caleb used a new software program to edit his video clips. Caleb 用一个新软体剪辑那几个影片片段。OK， 接下来我们来看名词 comparison。Comparison 在文章里的意思是对照、比较。譬如说 In comparison with her twin sister, Helene is far more outgoing and talkative. 与她的双胞胎妹妹相比 Helene 比较外向而且话比较多。或是 This restaurant's spaghetti is a lot better in comparison with that restaurant's spaghetti. 与那一家餐厅的意大利面相比这一家的比较好吃。Comparison 也有相提并论的意思，比如说 There is no comparison between these two novels. One is a classic, and the other is trash. 这两本小说不能相提并论，一本是经典名作，另外一本是垃圾。Okay, let's get back to our teachers.
Okay, thank you, Jack. And friends, let's get right into this part of our lesson, reading for Phoebe. A few small improvements. The beauty mode on my friends' phones sometimes make them look like total strangers. They post a selfie and I think, who is this? Do I know you? That can't be healthy.
What a great line by Phoebe. Of course, she's referring to Joanna's line where she says, what's wrong with making a few small improvements, right? And you see this, some phones have a beauty mode. And this picture actually, I'm not sure if it came from a phone's beauty mode. I know that after you put makeup on, it can make someone look completely different from the way they normally look. As a matter of fact, Anne-Marie, I can't tell if this is a picture of a young lady or maybe someone who's in their 20s?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Right?
The girl in this photo could be young, but maybe she's older too.
Exactly. Makeup really can make a difference, as can your phone's filters and beauty mode. But Phoebe said something here at the end that's kind of fun. She says, that can't be healthy. And that's kind of a fun sentence pattern to know when you're in a conversation with somebody. That can't be adjective. This just means you really don't think that it's that adjective.
Yeah, sometimes I hear people say, that can't be right, when
Right.
they really can't believe what you have to say. Like, oh, for example, hey Gabe, did you know that next week everybody gets a day off?
Next week, everybody gets a day off.
Yep.
That can't be right, Anne-Marie. I know our boss likes to give us some days off, like Christmas and New Year's, but not next week.
Okay, well, there's an example of how you can use that phrase, friends.
Great example. Well, Joanna continues here. Ha ha. Well, I have to agree that people's pictures can look strange. Sometimes I think, are you kidding me? What are you, a robot? And we want to take a look at that fun sentence or that question there too. What are you, a something? This is just a fun way of suggesting that the person you're talking to is like this noun for some reason. So when she sees this picture, she thinks that her friend looks kind of like a robot.
I've heard people use this phrase saying, who do you think you are? Or who are you, the president?
Yeah.
It just has the idea of like
Like if-
that's not who you are.
Right, so I guess if you said, who are you, the president? I guess that means your friend was maybe acting in a way that was really superior or had a lot of
Yes.
authority or bossy.
Definitely.
Well, who are you, the president? Or our lesson says, what are you, a robot? She says, your face looks plastic, but it's fun to edit pictures, and besides, I don't see how it's harmful.
Harmful. Now that's an interesting word. Friends, today the word we want to talk about though is harmless, which is the opposite of harmful. What does that word mean, Gabe?
Yeah, exactly. Well, like you said, it's the opposite of harmful. So if something is harmful, it causes harm. It may make someone hurt in some way. You could say something is harmless. An action could be harmless. An activity could be harmless. That means it's not going to cause harm at all.
An animal could be harmless as well. For example, the dog looked really fierce from behind the fence, but it turned out he was just harmless.
So dogs can be harmless. Maybe you think a dog or an animal might be kind of scary or dangerous. Someone might say, no, it's okay. He's harmless. Anne-Marie, have you ever heard people referred to as being harmless as well?
Yeah, I have before. Maybe someone is acting a little strange, or maybe sometimes we say about people with mental disabilities as
Okay.
well, because sometimes people can be afraid or feel nervous around people like that, right? And that is a way to tell people it's okay, you don't need to be nervous. That person is totally harmless.
That person is harmless. You can say this to somebody, especially if that person is encountering a stranger of some kind and they're not sure what that person is like. It's okay. She's harmless. Well, how does Phoebe continue?
Well, Phoebe continues here and says, think about it. Every day we're comparing ourselves with false beauty standards. Perfect skin, super white teeth, narrow faces. It makes real people look ugly by comparison. We look ugly by comparison.
So you can see how Phoebe might have, maybe if she thought about this more, she might have problems with her self-esteem, right? And a lot of people see pictures like this on Instagram and might have problems with their own self-esteem or self-worth. Well, we have more to learn about this later, but right now it's time for us to go to the Info Cloud.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to InfoCloud. Rex, did you get my PM about today's lesson?
PM?
Yes, I sent you a PM through FB.
Andrea, I honestly don't know what you are talking about.
PM and FB. These are acronyms that are used in social media. An acronym is the first letter of each word in a phrase or title. You say some acronyms by the letters, and some become their own word.
Oh, I see. But we don't really use these acronyms in spoken English, do we?
Some social media acronyms have found their way into spoken English, but you're right. Most are used in comments, captions, and conversations between people on social media.
So what does PM stand for?
A PM is a personal message. You can send personal messages through FB, which is Facebook. They can also be called DMs or direct messages. That acronym is used on IG. IG is Instagram. Do you have an IG account?
Whoa, that's a lot. No, I don't have an IG account.
But don't you have FOMO? FOMO is fear of missing out. A lot happens on IG every day, and you miss out on it.
I'm okay with that, but how are you supposed to learn all these acronyms?
Honestly, there are hundreds of them. You don't have to learn them all. I often look them up online to find out what their meaning is.
现在是 social media 社群媒体相当热络的年代，大部分的人都有使用社群媒体的经验。今天我们要跟大家一起来分享一些我们在 social media 上经常使用的用语和缩写 acronym， 像是大家都很熟悉的 FB 就是 Facebook，IG 就是 Instagram。不过 FB 跟 IG 是亚洲人比较习惯听到的缩写 acronym， 西方人还是比较常说 Facebook 和 Instagram。如果你跟西方人在 social media 上面交流，可能会看到 PM 这个缩写，意思是 private message 私讯。人们经常使用 social media， 很多时候是因为 FOMO， FOMO 也就是 fear of missing out， 害怕错失一些讯息的恐惧症。这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 我们下次云端见。
Studio Classroom is on the air.
All right, here's a little quiz for you. Are you ready?
For me?
Yeah, everybody.
Okay, as ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, so which word or phrase that we discussed earlier is an adjective that describes something that won't hurt others?
I know. Beauty mode.
No. I mean, I hope that doesn't harm others, but I'm actually thinking of another word.
Oh, harmless.
Yes, that's it. Friends, did you guess it correctly the first time?
Well, Joanna thinks that editing pictures with something like a phone's beauty mode is harmless. What do you think?
Let's continue the conversation between Phoebe and Joanna now.
Instagram versus reality.
We look ugly by comparison.
I get what you're saying. You know, sometimes I feel that our real lives seem dull compared to the pictures that other people share.
Now that is something to worry about. Psychologists say social media use lowers our sense of self-worth. This daily comparison with artificial standards is increasing our anxiety and making us unhappy.
Well, if that's how you feel about it, why don't you just get off Instagram?
Quit Instagram? Are you crazy? How would I keep up with everyone?
Dull 是一个形容词，意思是无聊乏味或是没意思。比方说 ，The banquet was so dull that we decided to leave early. 晚宴相当无趣，我们就决定提早离开。Dull 也可以指东西没有光泽或是色泽不光亮。譬如说 The old cabinets looked dull, but a fresh coat of paint should make everything look better. 旧柜子的颜色暗沉，可是刷上新漆可以让一切看起来好看一点。我们也可以用 dull 来形容刀片不是很利。譬如说 It's hard to chop vegetables with a dull knife. 拿不够利的刀来切菜是不容易的。最后我们要看的字是名词 anxiety。在文章里 anxiety 是指焦虑不安的感觉。比方说 It's normal to feel some anxiety before you give a speech. 演讲前感到焦虑不安是很正常的。我们也可以用 anxiety 来指麻烦的事情，或是让人感到焦虑的事情。譬如说 There is a lot of stress and anxiety going on at the office. 办公室里有不少压力跟麻烦的事情。Anxiety 也可以指焦虑症。譬如说 After Horace had that big accident, he began to suffer from depression and anxiety. Horace 出了严重车祸后，就开始有忧虑症跟焦虑症。All right, let's get back to our teachers.
Thank you, Jack. Well, friends, let's get right into Joanna's line here. There's something we'd like to talk about. She says, I get what you're saying. Now, the word get here in this sentence is also this lesson's usage tip. You can learn more about it in your magazine. But let's take a look at this whole phrase here. I get what you're saying is a fun and another way to say I understand you, or what you're saying makes sense.
Yeah, it also means I get your point. I understand your point. For example, I don't think we should do it that way, but I see what you're saying. Your way is more efficient.
Yeah, I like that you used the word see there. I see what you're saying is the same thing as I get what you're saying. So it doesn't mean that you agree with the other person necessarily, but what they're saying makes sense and you can continue talking about it.
You can see their side of the story or see their point of view.
Exactly. Well, friends, we want to talk about something else here in this section, but it's at the very end, okay? Phoebe's last line, quit Instagram? Are you crazy? How would I keep up with everyone?
Well,
now,
Gabe, are you sure that's how it should be read?
what do you mean?
Well, you could read it another way, too.
Yeah?
You could read it like this. Quit Instagram. Are you crazy? How would I keep up with everyone?
Oh, I guess that is a little bit different. One shows Phoebe as kind of conflicted, and maybe another she's kind of joking a little bit. Maybe we could talk about that later. But right now, let's talk about this phrase, to keep up with someone. That means to continue to be informed about somebody.
I like social media because it helps me keep up with my friends. Well, right now it is time for us to see how this conversation should be read, and we are going to do that right now.
But before that, let's see how the word anxiety is used in a skit.
Honey, I'm home.
Oh, so honey, how was your day?
Great. You know the volunteer work I was doing at the hospital?
Yes, and I'm so proud of you.
Well, I quit.
You what? You quit? But
it was too much work, and it took too much time. It was giving me anxiety.
Well, okay, I guess.
Oh, and that's not all.
What else?
I quit all those night classes at the university, too.
But those were important classes. I thought...
But they were stressful. I had so much anxiety. Now I feel better.
But...
Oh, and there's one more thing.
Oh, what's that?
I quit my job.
Your job?
Yes. Getting up early, driving in traffic, pressure at the office. It was causing a lot of anxiety. So I quit. And now I have less anxiety.
Why do I suddenly have more anxiety? What are we gonna do?
Are you one of the 3.6 billion people on Earth who use social media? One app, Instagram, has over 500 million daily users and 1 billion users each month. This makes it one of the most popular social media platforms in the world. We average over 2 hours every day on social media. But does following friends, companies, and influencers make our lives better or worse? Does sharing pictures and getting likes have a positive or negative effect on us? Phoebe and Joanna are friends, but they don't feel the same way about social media.
Hey, did you see the article Lydia posted on Facebook this morning?
You mean the one about Instagram being bad for us?
Yeah, it talks about the psychological effects of comparing ourselves with pictures of artificial beauty. It also says people's real lives aren't as wonderful as they seem on Instagram.
I don't see what the big deal is. I love using Instagram.
I use it too, but I'm becoming worried. Don't you think that what people share is kind of fake?
Just because people use filters on their selfies doesn't mean they're fake. What's wrong with making a few small improvements?
A few small improvements. The beauty mode on my friends' phones sometimes makes them look like total strangers. They post a selfie and I think, who is this? Do I know you? That can't be healthy.
Well, I have to agree that people's pictures can look strange. Sometimes I think, are you kidding me? What are you, a robot? Your face looks plastic. But it's fun to edit pictures, and besides, I don't see how it's harmful.
Think about it. Every day we're comparing ourselves with false beauty standards. Perfect skin, super white teeth, narrow faces. It makes real people look ugly by comparison. We look ugly by comparison.
I get what you're saying. You know, sometimes I feel that our real lives seem dull compared to the pictures that other people share.
Now that is something to worry about. Psychologists say social media use lowers our sense of self-worth. This daily comparison with artificial standards is increasing our anxiety and making us unhappy.
Well, if that's how you feel about it, why don't you just get off Instagram?
Quit Instagram? Are you crazy? How would I keep up with everyone?
Okay, friends, well, from hearing that conversation replayed, what do you think? Now, earlier, Gabe was thinking that Phoebe was conflicted?
Yeah, conflicted, or maybe she's joking, but that word conflicted, maybe you're not sure what that means. If someone is conflicted, that means he or she is confused or worried because they're not sure what to do or what to believe after all. But if Phoebe is joking, isn't there another phrase we could use to describe that kind of joking?
There is. This phrase that we use there is tongue in cheek. If you're saying something is tongue in cheek, that means what you say is intended to be understood as a joke, even though it might sound serious.
That's right. Is Phoebe conflicted or being tongue in cheek? Now that I think about it, she might be being tongue in cheek. What do you think, friends? Well, that's all the time that we have for today. We'll see you next time for a new lesson right here on Studio Classrooms.
A friend endures at all times. A good friend lasts a lifetime. I am so proud to have you in my life. A good friend lasts a lifetime.